What is a null test? Is it important? What's it going to tell you? How do you even do it? Don't worry, I'm going to break that all down. Let's go. Yo, what's good, guys? Inswain with Inswain Audio. Welcome back. If you're new, subscribe and stick around because I drop videos like this every single day. All different types of tips, tricks, different stuff with audio engineering, mixing, mastering, all that. You're not going to want to miss out. But today, I'm going to tell you what a null test is, what it can tell you, why it's important, and then how to do it. It's actually pretty easy and it can be very useful. So let's go. Okay, so a null test is when you test two tracks of audio against each other to see if they what we call null, meaning cancel each other out. If they cancel each other out, that means they're essentially the same or maybe exactly the same. So basically a null test is you can take two tracks of audio, do the test, and see if they're the same thing. You probably already can think of a few reasons why this is useful, but I'll let you know. You could be testing two mixes to see if they're the same, two tracks to see if they're duplicates. But another nice thing is when you do the null test, if they don't null, meaning they're not exactly the same, instead of hearing silence because they cancel each other out, what you'll be left with is the difference. So if you do this null test and you hear silence, you have the exact same file or two of the same tracks. If you don't hear silence, what you will hear is the difference. It's kind of like taking one and subtracting it from the other and you're left with the remainder. That's the difference. It's the same thing. If you have two tracks, but one of them has an extra effect on it and you do the null test, all you will hear is the effect. So I'll show you how to do it and show you an example of that and it might make more sense. So right here, we have a mix. I'll let you hear it for a second, but it doesn't matter what it is.
When all the souls who've slipped away from here.
Okay, it's just a song, doesn't matter. So what if I made a new track, copied and pasted this down here? Now we know they're the exact same, right? We know this. But let's say we go to do a null test. How you do it is you just pull up any plugin where you can invert the phase. In this case, in Logic, you can pull up a gain plugin, a utility plugin in your DAW, whatever you use, something like this, where you can do a phase invert. So what happens is if I invert the phase for the left and the right channels on this file, that means I'm doing a null test. So now when I play it at the same time as the original, so we have our original track up here, just as it is, and then we have a duplicate with the phase inverted. This is how you do a null test. You put a phase inversion on one of the files you're comparing or one of the tracks. Now when I play it, if you listen, there's nothing to hear. It's dead silent. And that's because we know they're exact copies, so we do the null test. That means they passed the null test, they nulled or canceled out. They're the exact same. So that's how you do it and what it would sound like if they're the exact same. But we already knew they were. Let's say I have put a reverb on one of these tracks. Okay, it doesn't matter what. Now just listen to this one track soloed with the reverb. It's gonna sound bad, but that's okay. Turn it up so it really sounds bad.
When all the souls who've slipped away from here.
Okay, cool. Now let's say afterwards we put this back on, our phase inversion, and we play it at the same time as our original. What we're going to hear is the difference between the two tracks, remember? So that means we're going to hear just the reverb effect. We're not going to hear the original track because those are the same between the two and they're going to cancel out, leaving us with just the reverb. Check it out. Pretty cool, right? So you can use this to test your plugins. You can apply an effect or use a plugin and see what it's doing and hear just the change that it's making. Or maybe it's not making a change. For example, let's say we wanted to test out this plugin. This is Spectre from Waves Factory. It is a saturation plugin. Notice if I play the song with the plugin on and the phase inversion, we hear nothing because the plugin isn't doing anything. It's nulling. It's canceling out. But watch what happens as I start to add an effect.
When all the souls who've slipped away from here.
We're hearing that difference. Now watch what happens if I just solo this one track without the phase inverted and we listen to just the plugin.
When all the souls who've slipped away.
We hear all of the audio, but then once again, if I flip the phase and play it at the same time as the original, we're only hearing the difference. So you could test your plugin and hear what each type of saturation sounds like, or whatever plugin you're using. You can compare it with the original and hear just the difference. So you can test out how the plugin sounds without the actual audio with it. It's like just what the plugin's doing, not what's going into the plugin. This can be a great way to really learn what your plugins sound like, or if you're like, I don't really know if it's doing anything or what is it doing, this is a great way to find out. So there you have it, guys. That is what a null test is, how to do it, why it might be important, and what it means when you get your results. I personally find this really useful when people are sending me files. I'll get a lot of duplicates on accident, and instead of listening through the whole song and being like, is it the exact same? I'll just do a quick null test and see if it nulls out. Then I know, okay, they're a duplicate. I don't need it. And it kind of sounds like you shouldn't need to do this, but in reality, I'm doing this all the time. So hopefully you got something from that. Like I said, if you don't use Logic, it should be some sort of utility or gain plugin or something, a mono maker. You should be able to find a plugin in your DAW that you can invert the phase on, and you'll be good to go. They all work the same. So there you have it, guys. Let me know down below in the comments if you enjoyed it. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I appreciate y'all, man. I'm trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Let's see if we can do it before the year ends. We're at like 825. We got like a month to go, man. Let's apply the pressure. Anyways, I'll see y'all tomorrow. In Swain with Swain Audio. Peace.